Now I am taking the chickens I baked out of the oven. I baked them for approximately 80 minutes, covered. Most of the liquid you see at the bottom is the chicken's own juices. For 4 chickens, I added about 1 liter of water in total. I rubbed the chickens well with chicken seasoning, added salt, and cooked them slowly at 165 degrees. We definitely do not throw away this chicken stock. I am transferring it into a container because I will use it to prepare the wrap sauce. This stock will help keep the wrap moist and make the chicken much more flavorful. Now I'm putting a pot on the stove. I am adding a little sunflower oil, some butter, and about 1 cup of flour. I will roast the flour for around 5 minutes. Here is a little tip. I do not recommend using only butter when roasting flour. Mixing butter with a liquid oil makes it easier to roast the flour, gives it a great flavor, and reduces the chance of the butter burning. As you can see, the butter has foamed, but it has not burned. I continue roasting the flour until its raw smell disappears, without making the color too dark. Now I am slowly adding the chicken stock while continuously stirring. As the stock goes in, the flour will loosen and the sauce will begin to thicken. I am adding a little more chicken seasoning and checking the salt. Since the chicken stock already contains salt, we need to add it carefully. I let the sauce boil for a few minutes so the flour cooks completely and the sauce reaches the right consistency. Since the stock is quite concentrated, I'm also adding some regular water. I want a smooth and flavorful sauce that will easily mix with the chicken. While the sauce is cooking, let's prepare the chicken. I have carefully removed all the bones from the chickens. Make sure there are no small pieces of bone left, especially when children are going to eat it. Now I'm adding some more of the chicken stock from the bottom of the tray over the meat. This keeps the chicken from drying out and brings that delicious flavor back into the meat. I am breaking the chicken into medium-sized pieces with my hands. I do not want them too small because I want the chicken to be noticeable in every bite. Then I spread the pieces evenly across the tray. One important point, do not keep hot chicken completely covered for a long time. It can develop an unpleasant smell and affect the texture. If you only need to wait briefly, cover it lightly. I am making a few of the larger pieces smaller with a knife. Again, we are not chopping the chicken too finely. We want nice, soft pieces inside the wrap. Our chicken is ready. Now I am preparing the vegetables. Since these wraps are being made especially for children, I am keeping the filling simple and using only tomatoes this time. Of course, you can add whatever you like, such as onions, lettuce, pickles, roasted peppers, or French fries. You can even add garlic yogurt or another sauce. I have also taken the wrap flatbreads out of the oven. I am preparing 30 wraps, and as you can see, the flatbreads are long and thin. I will fill them lengthwise so the filling is distributed evenly and the wraps are easier to eat. I have opened all the flatbreads on the table. The important thing here is to distribute the chicken as evenly as possible. Since we are making 30 wraps, I am dividing the chicken by eye, but keeping the portions as equal as possible. Now I am placing the chicken onto the flatbreads. Then we will add the tomatoes and our chicken sauce. The goal is not only to make a wrap with plenty of chicken, but to make sure we can taste the chicken in every bite. I have added the chicken, and now I am adding sliced tomatoes. I am spreading them so there are no large empty spaces. I use about half a tomato for each wrap, which gives a nice balance of tomato and chicken in every bite. By the way, please do not forget to like the video and support my channel. I make real recipe videos by actually going into the kitchen and preparing everything myself. Every recipe takes time and effort to prepare, film, and explain. If you're new to the channel, make sure to check out my other recipes as well. Now I am adding grated Kashar cheese. Chicken and Kashar cheese go together beautifully, and children especially love it. Once the cheese melts, it will spread nicely over the chicken and tomatoes. Now it is time for our chicken sauce. I am using about 1 ladle of sauce for each wrap. I am drizzling it over the chicken. The amount is important. We do not want the wrap to become too wet, but we also do not want it to be dry. This amount is just enough to keep the chicken and flatbread moist. You can also dip the wrap into this sauce while eating it. The combination of hot chicken, melted Kashar cheese, and this rich chicken sauce is really delicious. I am mainly pouring the sauce over the chicken. If you want, you can also lightly moisten the flatbread with the sauce before adding the filling. I prefer not to make it too wet because I want the flatbread to keep its shape and become slightly crispy on the outside. Now let's wrap the flatbreads. I prefer to roll them lengthwise. When these wraps are rolled sideways, they become shorter and thicker. I find the longer and thinner shape easier to eat, and the filling is also distributed more evenly. Of course, this is completely up to you. You can roll them whichever way you prefer. Now the wraps are ready. I'm going to heat them in the sandwich press. We do not want to crush them. We only want the outside to brown slightly, the flatbread to become a little crispy, and the Kashar cheese to melt. This is an industrial sandwich press, and it is currently at about 250 degrees, the highest heat. I'm placing the wraps inside without pressing them too hard. I leave them for about 1 minute, then lightly brush the outside with butter. This gives the flatbread a beautiful aroma and helps it brown nicely. We press them lightly and let them brown. Now we can take them out. As you can see, the outside has browned slightly and the cheese inside has melted. That is exactly what we want. Now we are going to package the wraps and serve them while they are still hot. These wraps are best when the chicken is hot and the Kashar cheese is freshly melted. To make them easier for the children to eat, I am cutting each wrap into 4 pieces. This makes them easier to hold and much more convenient to eat. And now let me show you the inside. Look at that. We have tender chicken, tomatoes, and beautifully melted Kashar cheese. The sauce inside has also helped keep the chicken moist. I think they turned out really nice. I tasted one, and it was delicious. The chicken is not dry, the sauce is just right, and the tomato and Kashar cheese work beautifully together. But maybe there is something I missed. What do you think this wrap is missing? What would you add? Onion, lettuce, pickles, or French fries? Let me know in the comments. I may use your suggestions in the next wrap I make. That's all from me for now. See you again in a new video with a new recipe. Goodbye.